Good afternoon. In the previous class, we have started the concept of demand analysis. Before that demand analysis, we have discussed the basic concepts like economics, what is managerial economics, what are the decisions can be taken by managerial economist. So what is the scope of that managerial economics? Like that, is several topics we have discussed. So later we come across, we are going to discuss about this demand analysis. So all we all are familiar with the term called demand, because in the school level itself we know the concept of demand, because in economics the demand itself is called effective demand. Once again I'm repeating, in economics the demand is also called as effective demand. That means this can be, so the demand, when we can say particular product has a demand, so demand for a particular product refers to desire of an individual for a product. Suppose if I want to buy a particular product, first of all I must have the desire to buy that product. So without a desire I can't buy that product. I am having enough money, but I am not having the desire to have that product or to enjoy that product. I don't go for buying that product. So demand for a product refers to the three things are very important. The first one is desire of an individual for a product, ability to pay for the product. So only mere desire, if I am having only single desire without money, I can't satisfy my want. I can't buy that product. So ability to pay for the product and willingness to pay for the product. So these are the three things very much required for saying whether the product has demand or not. So demand for a product refers to desire of an individual for the product, ability to pay for the product, and willingness to pay for the product. So how can you define a demand? So what, again, various economists has given different types of definitions. So we have considered only two definitions. In 2 marks, they ask you have to write the definition. So here demand is nothing but uh, various quantities of the goods that would be purchased per a time period at different prices in a given market. That means we are purchasing various commodities or various goods. So how much quantity or how much quantity of that particular commodity or how much quantity of that particular good we are purchasing, it depends upon the price level only. Suppose if I really want that particular good, but the price of that good is very high, but I really want that good, so I will take less quantity of that good. That means the quantity I am going to take is very less quantity. That means the various quantities of a good that would be purchased for a particular time period at different prices is given, is called the demand of that particular product. This definition was given by the scientist called Hibden. So again, one more scientist, Hausen, has defined the demand as the quantity of a commodity that will be purchased at a particular price, not merely desire for a thing. We are not having not a desire. We are having the ability to pay for the product also. So what is the quantity of the commodity you are purchasing is called a demand. So in the last class already we have explained. So already I have defined what is meant by demand function, because the demand function we can express in a mathematical representation. In a mathematical equation, we are representing that demand function. So the demand function for a commodity we are describing, it has a relationship between, so the quantities of the commodity we are the consumer buying, and based on some factors, on which factors it is depending. Okay, so here we are representing the demand function for a commodity. It is going to specify the relationship between what is the quantity of a good X. Here X is nothing but a product or a good. So how much quantity you are demanding? What is the quantity demanded for that product S? It is going to depend upon the various factors. What are those various factors we have seen in the last class? So F is nothing but it is a function of. So Y is nothing but income, consumer's income. Suppose in market we are having a number of products. Each and every product or good has different types of prices. So for satisfying my wants, there is no necessity to buy a product which is having higher cost or high level price. So for satisfying my want with whatever the income I am having, with that income I can buy an alternative product. So consumers income, we will discuss each and everything again once again detailed. So PX is nothing but price of that particular good X. Which good you are going to purchase, what is the price of that particular good X. Next, PS means price of the substitute. That means if I'm having if I want to buy a soap, we are having number of brands of soaps, number of different types of soaps. Each soap's cost is not same. We are having the price, the soaps are available for different types of prices. So according to my condition or according to my income, according to my economic conditions, I will go for a particular soap to buy. So price of the substitute. So next, price of the complements. Complements means for if I want to prepare a tea, along with the milk I need tea powder and sugar. So sugar and this tea powder are the complements. So for making the tea, whatever the goods are, the other goods we required compulsorily, those are the complements. So without a car I can't run the car on the road. So with petrol only I can run the car on the road. So complements are here, car and the petrol. So if you are going to buy the car means you have to definitely buy the petrol also or diesel, whatever it may be. So such type of goods are called complementary goods. Next, T means measure of consumer taste and preferences. So the quantity you are demanding is also depends upon the taste of the consumers also. Next, consumers expectations about the future prices. In some cases we will think that so the price of the petrol is going to be increased, so the price of the gold is increasing in the next month, in the coming future the gold prices are going to be increased, like that. With that expectations, users buy now itself more quantity. So like that, in some cases they are going to be done. How many number of customers? So number of population or number of customers. Next. So D is the distribution of the consumers. So how the consumers are distributed in a particular location or geography or city or whatever it may be. So U is the another determinants for the demand for X. A is the advertisement. So how advertisements are going to affect for the increase in the sales of the product is also matter. So DX is nothing but the quantity of a commodity or good you are demanding is depends upon many number of functions. What are those functions we have seen? So next we are going to discuss about the factors influence the demand for a product. So for increasing the demand for a product, what are the factors they are influencing? That means when I am saying a particular product X has more demand. Suppose if I take a Tresemme shampoo or any another product. So Tresemme or L'Oreal shampoo has more demand. Why that particular shampoo has more demand? So suppose if I take any herbal shampoo, for that herbal shampoo has more demand. So what are the different types of factors influencing the demand, getting demand for that particular product? So the first one is the price of the product, income of the consumers. So these are the different side headings we are having. We will discuss each and one side heading separately. Price of the product, income of the consumer, taste, habits and preferences of the consumer, relative price of the substitute goods and complement goods, consumer expectation, population, climate and weather condition, advertisement and effect. So whatever we are described as the functions, the quantity of the good we are demanding, it depends upon these, all these factors are the variables. So you are having the question like that, what is meant by demand? Explain the various factors influencing the demand for a product. This is a long answer. This is the one of the important question. So you need to remember is what is the demand and how in a real time we can express the demand for relating to our real-time environment, and you have to remember the side headings properly and you have to explain the concepts. So we are moving to the next slide. The first one is the price of the product. See here, generally the price of the product is going to affect the demand, the quantity of the demand you are purchasing. So everybody knows that, because this is also called the price demand. So the price of the product is the most affecting factor for quantity you are demanding. That means suppose for any particular good, the price is going to be increased means automatically we will buy less quantity of that particular good. Okay. because based on your income conditions, whatever may be the some certain conditions we are having. So what he is saying is the price has inverse relationship with that demand of a product. Suppose the amount of product demanded at a particular price is called price demand. This demand is also called price demand. So whatever the product you are demanding at a particular price is called a price demand. Normally, a large quantity is demanded at a lower price. Suppose a particular product price is low means we will buy more quantity of that particular good. That means lower price means higher quantity we are demanding, but not at a higher price. That means the price of that particular product is high means we are demanding or we are buying less quantity of that good. That means that the price has inverse relationship with the demand. As the price is increasing, your quantity demanding is decreasing. It increases means price increases means demand decreases. Your price decreases means it is downwards means your quantity demanding for that particular product is more. Suppose in some certain cases they are giving discounts on particular products, particular items which we require most of the time. Suppose if they are giving discounts means we will go to buy, we will prefer to buy 2 more kgs extra or 5 kgs extra for this month. So it will be, we can adjust for the next month also. So like that, whenever the price is going to be increased means we will buy less amount, less quantity. Whenever the price decreases means we will buy the more quantity of that product. So price has inverse relationship. Remember this main point. This type of demand is called price demand. Next, income of the consumer. So demand is going to be affected by the income. So this type of demand is called income demand. So when consumers income increases, the demand will increase significantly. That means income demand has a direct relationship with that demand. That means my income is going to be increased means I prefer to buy the products more. So income increases means demand for that particular products also increases more. On the other hand, if the income of the consumer decreases, my income is going to decrease. So the demand will also be decreased. That means this income increases, demand increases. Income decreases, demand decreases. So in our real time also, in our real time scenarios, we are observing this most of the times. So whenever we are having another burdens or our income is reduced due to the business problems or whatever may be the problems, so we have to adjust the things. So automatically whatever the quantities we are buying, we will buy in less quantities. That's why income has a direct relationship with the demand. Price has a inverse relationship with the demand. Hope you will understood that these two concepts. I am moving to that next slide. Next, tastes, habits and preferences of the consumer. So tastes, habits and preferences of the consumer. So demand for many products depends upon the taste, habits and preference of the consumer. That means each and every consumer is going to not interested in the same product. Some persons like me don't interested to drink cool drinks, and some persons they are not interested according to their health conditions. They are not preferring ice creams, beverages or cool items or fast food, whatever it may be. So each and every person is not interested to eat fast foods. So some persons are new generations are interested in eating, preferring the fast foods. So demand for many goods depends upon the taste, habits and preferences of the consumer. So according to that consumer preference, the demand is going to be changed. That means, for example, if you consider demand for several goods like ice cream, chocolates, beverages depends upon the taste of the individual. Generally, uh, children and some teenage people likes to use many chocolates. So each and every age people or middle-aged peoples and senior age people, they don't prefer ice creams and chocolates most of the times. So based on their health conditions, they may avoid. So demand for several goods also depends upon the taste, habits and preferences of the consumer. Next, relative price of the substitute goods and complements. So what is meant by substitute goods and what is meant by complement goods? See here, relative price of the substitute goods and the complementary goods. Substitute good is nothing but, suppose I want to buy a soap X. That X soap cost has been increased suddenly. Every time I'm buying that X soap cost is at 45. suddenly 10 rupees has been increased, 55. So every month I need 12 soaps. So 12 soaps means what is the budget is going to be increased on each soap, they have increased 10 rupees. So for my family I need 12 soaps, 12 into 10, 120 rupees budget I have to increase. So what I have to do, so are there any substitutes I can replace with for maintaining the same budget of my family, to run the same to run my family within the same budget? I will go for the substitute products. So what are they? Suppose I'm having only 50 rupees with me, so I want to have 5 teas. So coffee rate is 15 rupees, so I will go for the substitute by tea. So what are the other substitute is there for satisfying my want, so satisfying my need? So those goods are called substitute goods. Okay. Complement goods. So complementary goods are nothing but along with that good we have to buy company other good, definitely. That means if you take that inkjet printers, along with that inkjet printers, inkjet cartridges are also required. So if the printers printers sale is going to be increased means inkjet cartridges sales also be going to be increased, because we are consumption of the printer, we are also consuming the good inkjet cartridge also. Or if you are buying a bike, so for that bike you need diesel or petrol. So you are buying the using that consumption of that particular good means you are going to consume that your petrol or whatever it may be. So those are called the complementary goods. So when you are buying a particular good, C means the consumption of that particular good, another good also we will demand for another good also. Such type of goods are called complementary goods. So the demand is going to be affected by the relative price of the substitute goods and the complementary goods. The demand for a product is also changes the price in the related products. That means substitutes. For example, already I have told you, suppose I want with that my I want to maintain my budget, because with the tea I want to suppose with the coffee I want to replace with tea. That is the substitute I am going to prefer here. So here, whenever a particular product, we are taking the A and B two products. Okay, A and B are substitute products. Suppose the price of that A product is going to be increased means the quantity demanded for B is going to be increased, because whenever that A price is going to be increased means the quantity demanded for A is decreased. The quantity demanded for B is increased. That is the substitute goods. So complementary goods already I have explained. So they are jointly demanded. Suppose if I take C and D are complementary goods. Suppose I am using more quantity, C is demanded. Automatically, the quantity demanded for D is also be increased. Whenever the prices are high, suppose my consumption is less for C means automatically the consumption for D is also less. So complementary goods are they are dependent one another, but substitute goods the relationship is in another way. So hope you understood the relative price of the substitute goods and the complementary goods. I will go for another slide. So consumer expectation. A consumer expectation about the future changes in the price of a given product may also affect its demand. So in some cases, we will expect based on that news or our conditions. So we will say the prices of that particular X product are going to be increased. Generally, we will say in the case of petrol, onions, like that. In some type of situations, onion prices are going to be suddenly raised. So in that case, what we will do at that moment, what we will do when the prices are going to be increased means we will buy one more another stock prepared ready for the future months also. So in that case, the demand of the quantity demanded for that particular product is going to be increased. It is not depending upon the price. So in the next month or next week or next within 2 days, the prices are going to be increased means we are going to buy that product more quantity, we are buying that product. So when the consumer expects the prices to fall in future, he tends to buy less and vice versa. Suppose I have your opinion that the prices of that particular product are going to be reduced, prices are going to be fall. So what I will do, I will wait for next week. So in the next week or in the Dasra is coming for festive offers. They will give festive offers. In that festive offers, now I am getting only 10% discount. In the festive offers, they give up to 25% discount. So the prices falls more in festive seasons. So I can buy the product at that time. So these are the consumer expectations. So a consumer expectation about the future changes in the prices of a product may also affect the demand. Next, population. Suppose there is an increase in population, increases demand for necessaries of a life. Suppose if you take any particular geography location, the population in that particular geography location is more per means, so the demand for necessaries of life is more. So decrease in the population will also affect the demand. Suppose if that population is less means, so it is also going to affect the demand for different products. So how that consumer expectation and population are the other factors, they are going to affect the law of demand. Next, climate and weather conditions. See here, so what are the climate and weather conditions? Suppose in India, if it is very hot means we will prefer in a hot seasons cool drinks, juices like that, ice creams like that. So in a cool climatic areas, suppose in cool climatic conditions, they will prefer woolen cloths. So in each and every place they won't prefer the woolen cloths. Based on their climatic conditions only woolen cloths are preferred. So in southern cities we don't prefer woolen cloths regularly. So in climatic conditions in Ooty, Darjeeling, Simla like that, in that places they prefer woolen cloths more. So on a rainy day we don't prefer ice cream, is not much demanded because generally people don't like to eat ice creams on rainy seasons. So we prefer to use ice creams in hot seasons. In summer seasons, the demand for cool drinks and ice creams are more when compared with the rainy and winter seasons. This is the general statement. So the demand for ice creams and cool drinks is more in hot conditions, hot seasons, summer seasons. So the demand for ice cream and cool drinks is not very much not there in rainy and weather, cool conditions. So like this, based on climatic condition, the demand is there for a product. So the demand for a product is also going to affect based on climatic and weather conditions. So based on their weather conditions, they will prefer certain type of clothes or necessaries what they want. So based on that climatic conditions also, they will prefer such some type of different types of food items also. Their food habits are also be going to be changed. So in south places we will prefer rice to eat. In northern places, northern Indians are they prefer chapatis to eat. So based on that weather and climate conditions, the food habits of that persons are also going to be changed. Advertisement effect. So in modern times, consumer preference can be changed by using advertisement. So the sales of a particular product they are going to affect by using that advertisements. So they are taking the celebrities to promote their product. So some people are thinking that my favorite actor is promoting that particular product. So that product quality may be very good. I am also prefer to use that product. That means in modern times, consumer preference, we can change the consumer's preference or consumer's behavior. These are going to be affected by the advertisements. Automatically, they are increasing their sales based on these advertisements and impressing the consumers. So demand for many products like toothpaste, soaps, washing powders. These type of products are advertisement done by some celebrities. They are choosing some celebrities and they are preferring the celebrities to advertisement their products. So these sales of this product are partially caused by the advertisement effect. So there's a advertisement effect is increasing the sales of that particular product. So the attractive and wise advertisement will influence the demand for a product. So they are taking different concepts for the advertisements and they are using the celebrity people. So based on their impressive concepts for doing that advertisement, some people are going to be affected by that advertisements and they prefer or they are trying to use that particular product only. So these are the various factors which are going to affect that demand. Next concept is law of demand. Next concept is law of demand. How can you define a law of demand? So previously I have explained what is demand, what is the demand refers to, and what are the factors affecting the demand. That is the one concept, and the another concept I am going to explain is law of demand. So already whatever the things we have discussed, with that things we can get some conclusion. So that the law of demand mainly depends upon the price and income of a consumer. These are the main things. So here the law of demand has inverse relationship or negative relationship between the price of a product. Already I have told you price demand, because whenever the price is going to be increased, the demand for that product is going to be decreased. That's why we are saying the law of demand is nothing but it has the inverse relationship or negative relationship between the price of the products and its demand. So how can we state that law of demand? Whenever the price falls, demand extends. That means whenever the price of the particular product is going to be down, the demand extends means the demand for that quantity, particular commodity or good is going to be increased. Whenever the price rises, that means whenever the price increases, the demand falls. So all other remaining things are constant. We are keeping all other remaining factors. That means income factor, price of the substitutes, or price of that complementaries, whatever the other variables we have taken as a demand function, we are keeping all other things are remaining constant. Once again I am telling, the law of demand is nothing but whenever the price falls, demand extends, and whenever the price rises, the demand falls. All other things remains constant. See here, I have taken one table here. I have taken one table. So that table is also called demand schedule. Here I am explaining this table. With this table you have to write that explanation. That is the law of demand. It is very simple. With that table you can explain very simple manner. So this explanation of the law of demand, this is also called demand schedule. Once again I am telling, note down the term demand schedule. So in this table what are the things we have given? Price in rupees of a particular quantity. So what is that quantity price? Price in rupees we are giving, and quantity demanded in units. Suppose whenever that particular item has 5 rupees cost, the quantity demanded in units is 1000 units. Whenever the cost of that particular product is 5 rupees, we are demanding 1000 units. Okay. So when the price of that particular product is 1 rupee, we are demanding 5000 units. So understood? Whenever the price is going to be fall, whenever the price is 1 rupee, we are demanding 5000 units. At the beginning when the price is 5 rupees, we are demanding 1000 units. This is the explanation you have to write. In inversely, that means in opposite way, whenever the price of the item is 1 rupee, the quantity you are demanding is 5000 rupees. So whenever the price is 5 rupees, the quantity you are demanding is 1000 units. Whenever the price falls, demand is going to be increased. The quantity demanded is going to be increased. Whenever the price rises, see here I am going to upward direction in price. I am going upward direction in price. But whenever that price is going to be increased means, see here, the quantity demanded is also going to be reduced. Price increases means quantity demanded reduced. Price decreasing means quantity demanded increased. This is the explanation you have to write from this table. This is called law of demand. See, this explanation of law of demand can also be given by using the graph. So in this graph, on the x-axis, what is the parameter we are taking? Quantity of the demanded. So 1 unit or 2 unit or 3 units, like that, how many units you are demanding, that is the quantity of demanded is on the x-axis. On the y-axis we are taking the price of the product, 1 rupee, 2 rupees, 3 rupees, 5 rupees, like that price you are taking. This DD curve is called demand curve. DD curve is called the demand curve. So when you observe this demand curve, it is falling from left to right. Left to right means here on the x-axis quantity. Suppose if I am having only one quantity or two quantity, because why I am demanding only one or two quantity? Because the price is very high. Whenever the price is falling, the quantity demanded is also be increased. That's why it is sloping downwards from left to right. So it has the negative relationship with that price, inverse relationship with the price. This is the simple explanation. So on the x-axis what we have taken, on the y-axis what we have taken, you have to write like that. The DD curve explains the demand curve because it slopes down from left to right, because as the prices are increased, the demand is decreasing. As that prices are decreased, the demand is going to be increased. So the it is moving away from the origin. That means whenever the prices are decreasing, so the demand curve is away from the origin because we are demanding more quantity. That's why it is moving away from the point of origin. This is the total explanation. You have to write what is meant by law of demand. You have to take one table of example, and you have to explain, take the graph. With that graph and the demand schedule, you have to explain the things. So this is the concept of law of demand. I hope you understood that law of demand. Any one of you reply?
Yes, ma'am.
Understood the law of demand. Good. So we are taking assumptions of law of demand. See here, we need to consider certain assumptions for violating that law of demand. So some other factors are there which are violating the law of demand. What are those factors? So what are that assumptions lying under the law of demand? No change in the consumer income. No change in the consumer income means, for example, we have discussed, whenever the consumer income is going to be increased means the quantity demanded for a product is also going to be increased. Whenever the consumer income decreases means the quantity demanded for that product automatically decreases, because the income has a direct relationship with that demand. So consumer income increases, demand is also going to be increases. The income decreases means the quantity demanded for that particular item is also decreases. So consumer preferences. So what is that consumer preferences? In some cases, see here, consumer preferences are different. Say they will prefer a certain type of products, maybe. So whatever may be the cost of that particular product. In that case, whenever the price of that particular commodity is increased, because the consumer preference is for that product only, the demand for that product is same. That is the thing. Next, no change in the tastes and fashions. So because based on the tastes and fashions of that consumer also, sometimes this also going to be violate the law of the demand, because the tastes and fashions of that particular consumer is not changing. For example, if you take in this in another way, suppose uh, the fashion is outdated. For example, in a particular jeans, the fashion is outdated. So that that mart or whatever may be the shop, they have given offers for that jeans, but because it is outdated fashion means they are not preferring to buy that particular product. That means in some cases, whenever the price of that particular product is also decreasing, but the quantity demanded for that particular product is not increasing. That is the thing you have to observe. See here, a particular fashion has been outdated. So for clearing their sale, particular shop has given a lot of discounts for that product. Because it is an outdated fashion, the consumers are not preferring, whether they are coming for less price only, they are not preferring that product. So whether here in this case the prices are decreasing, but the quantity demanded for that particular X product is not increasing. That is the thing you have to observe. Okay. Tastes means my taste is not changed. That means whatever may be the rate, I want to prefer a particular brand type of coffee only. I want to drink Taj Mahal tea only, whatever may be the price of that Taj Mahal company. So I want to drink Taj Mahal only. That means my taste is not going to be changed. So whenever the price increases, automatically I'm going to prefer that particular Taj Mahal tea only, like that. You have to write the things. Next, no change in the price related product. Okay, so for satisfying our wants, we are having number of products. So the X product is satisfying my want, and Y product is also satisfying the want. So there is no changes for the substitute of the products. So this is also going to affect that demand. Next, no change in the population. Already we have discussed. Suppose the population is increasing, the necessaries required for that population is also going to be increases. Population decreases. Next, it is also going to be decreases. No change in the government policies. For example, in some cases, based on that government policies, are they are going to influence some different types of product. So based on their policies or based on their rules, the demand for certain products are going to be increased. So based on some government policies, in some cases, the demand for particular products are going to be increased. Whether the prices are more also, in that case also, the demand for that particular some products are going to be increased. Next, weather conditions. So already I have discussed the weather conditions. In some cases, these are the assumptions underlying the law of the demand. Next, we are moving to that another things. Why demand curve slope downwards? Already I have shown you the demand curve. This is the demand curve. This curve is falling from left to right. That means it is sloping downwards because it has the inverse relationship with that price. So here he is explaining. So what are the other factors affecting for this to why this demand curve is sloping downwards? Because the demand curve slopes downwards from left to right. So what are the reasons? Already we have discussed income effect. So whenever the question is like this, you have to write that the side headings which are necessary for that particular concept. So already we have explained the concept, but based on that side heading, that side headings may be different. So you have to take that particular side heading and you have to explain the thing. Income effect already I have told you. Suppose if the income of the consumer is going to be increased, the quantity demanded for that product is also going to be increased. So if the income of the consumer is decreasing, the quantity demanded for that particular product is going to be decreased. So in that way, if the income has a lot of effect, that demand is also called income demand. So that's why the demand curve slope downwards. So in some cases, the income is also going to be affect the situations. A commodity is utilized more when it becomes cheaper. See here, already I have told that. So a commodity is utilized more when it is become cheaper. Suppose we are giving more discounts on any particular commodity, automatically we will prefer to buy that commodity in more quantities, or it is utilized in more quantity when it is becoming cheaper. So automatically this is also going to affect the things. Substitution effects. Substitution effects means, suppose if a product X has more price, means the same Y is also going to satisfy my needs. I will prefer the Y product. So this substitution effect also is going to affect the demand. Multiple use of the product. So multiple use of the product means, for example, if I take steel, cement, like these items, these are also used for road construction and bridges construction. So the products used for multiple purposes. So if the rate of that cement or steel is going to be increased, means the demand for that products are not going to be decreased. The demand for that products are also going to be increased, because those products are used in multi-purposes, multiple uses. Because construction is very important for doing that bridges construction or whatever may be the general constructions of buildings, or road construction is very important. So these type of products are used in multi-purposes. So whenever the prices of that steel, cement, like that items are going to be increased, means the demand is not going to be decreased. The demand is also going to be increased only. That means people also prefer to buy the things because to satisfy their wants, or government also prefer to buy the things for performing that road construction or whatever may be the construction they are doing, bridge constructions or whatever may be. So this is the multiple use of the product. Next, what are the exceptions or limitations to the law of demand? Are there any limitations for the law of demand? Okay, so in general, what is the law of demand we are saying? In general, what is the law of demand we are saying? Whenever the price increases, the quantity demanded is decreases. Whenever the price decreases, the quantity demanded is increases. This is the law of demand. So there are certain type of goods or certain type of things, they are violating or they are not satisfying that law of demand. So what are those? Those are called given goods or inferior goods, Veblen goods, consumer expectation, consumer psychological bias, necessaries, impulse buying. So what are these things? We will see. Giffen goods. See, these goods are named after a Robert Giffen, British economist. So, according to his concepts, which was given by Robert Giffen, so he was a British economist. So, Giffen goods are named after Robert Giffen. He is a British economist. What is observed? So, Giffen has given some concept like this. He has observed that when the price of a product is decreasing, the demand for the product is also decreasing. So still now what I have told, whenever the price decreases means demand is increasing. So but in the case of the given goods, whenever the price decreases means demand for that product is also decreasing. Remember this point, very important. In general, law of demand means price increases means demand decreases. Price decreases means demand increases. But for given goods, the demand for the product is also decreasing. That means it has a direct relationship. Product price decreasing, demand is also decreasing. Such type of goods are called inferior goods or given goods. So what are those price? Similarly, when the price of the product is increasing, demand is also increasing. Such type of products are called superior goods. So this paradox is called Giffen's products paradox. It is an exception to this law. Here, what are the given goods? Given goods means, for example, if a low income person, they will go for what? If a low income people, generally lower income people, they go for bread and milk. They will satisfy their want or they will satisfy their appetite with bread. So whenever the consumer income is going to be increased, they are not preferring to buy a low quality bread. They will go for organic bread. Understood? So generally, mute yourself.
Number 70, please mute.
Mute yourself.
Number 70. Okay, ma'am. She muted.
Okay. So Giffen's paradox is an exception to this law. So examples I am explaining here. Suppose if we can take bread is an Giffen good. Bread is an Giffen good or inferior good. Generally, normal consumers they for satisfying their appetite they will they prefer to buy the bread. Whenever the consumer's income is growing means whenever you reduce the prices of the bread they don't prefer the bread. They don't prefer the low quality of the bread or off-branded ketchups. Suppose if the consumer income is good only, we don't prefer normal branded or off-branded ketchups or off-branded products. We will go for branded products. So whenever the price of that off-branded products are reducing, we are not demanding that off-branded products. We will go for branded products. That is the thing here. Given goods are like that. So given goods are inferior goods. The price of that particular given goods is decreasing means the quantity demanded for the product is not more. The quantity demanded for the product is less. So what I have told. So off-branded ketchup, branded ketchup. So if the consumer's income is more means he don't prefer that off-branded ketchup. I will prefer branded ketchup. Or if my income is more means I don't prefer low quality bread. I will go for organic bread. I will go for organic vegetables. I will go for organic food items because the cost of the organic products are more. So when I reduce that price of that normal products, I don't want to prefer such type of goods. So such type of goods are called given goods. So with this I am concluding. So now tell me, are there any doubts? I will explain your doubts.